Perrin and Egwene run into a familiar face. Mat and Rand reach the White City. Moiraine and Lan mourn their losses. Hello everyone, I'm Steve from Valhartv, and today I'll be reviewing The Wheel of Time, Episode 5. So there's a lot that happens in this episode, even though, again, this episode is slower. We have a lot of character building. Well, not so much character building, but we have a lot of world building, relationship building, and some character building. So this is what we get in this, but we do get a lot of good dialogue again, which I was very happy about. So we begin with the aftermath of last episode's bloodshed, basically all the battle and everything. One of the Aes Sedai is dead, and Lan, joins all of them with Lan and everybody in mourning and laying everybody to rest, which I thought was really kind of neat because they even put the king of the last city, Galadin, to rest as well because they followed Logain, who was the false dragon reborn again, or so they say. And we hear Moiraine say, "May the last embrace of the mother welcome you home," which I really thought was a great line to put everybody to rest, I really thought that was really good. And the whole thing was really good because we get to see, the way they kind of bury people, especially out in, that, type of wilderness area, instead of where, they would have done it in the White City. Maybe a little differently they would have done it there. And it looks like either a wheel or a clock. You know what I mean? But I believe there's supposed to be a wheel. That's why it's round with the way they buried him. But I thought that was really cool looking. I did like this whole thing right here. But then we cut to 1 month later. And we see Mat and Rand finally get to see the White City. And it looks amazing. Tar Valon... I mean, dude, the picture that they put in it, where we see Mat and Rand go up on a little hill over, and it overlooks the entire city and the mountain in the back, dude, absolutely beautiful looking. The visuals in this show are amazing, honestly. That was very awesome looking shot that they did, which I really liked. Thought that was really good and clever to do for showing an entire city that I believe has a few 100,000 in it. I think maybe up to 500,000. So it's a huge city for this type of this type of fantasy setting. Very huge. I absolutely loved it. And we clearly see that there's something wrong with Mat as they approach the city and they enter it. He's really jittery. A kid accidentally bumps into him and he's like, biting the kid's head off. And Matt's, our Rand's just looking at him like, oh, he's not really feeling well, must be, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, dude, no, there's clearly something wrong with him. But what they, and it's funny because what everybody's thinking is that he might be a channeler, so that's kind of why it's doing that, because the madness. But you can clearly see that there's something more than just even that. So I thought that was a very interesting way that they've taken this part. And as Mat and Rand are going through the city, it looks like it's packed. The alleyways kind of that they're going through have a whole bunch of buyers and sellers along the way, and they're just kind of working their way through to find a tavern. It looked really good, all the sets in this looked fantastic. And they were really good shots, yeah. And then we get some good dialogue from Nye and Moiraine as they talk in Nye's room. And Moraine's telling her, don't go out, don't really talk to people because, you really can't trust the politics of the White Tower, which speaks a lot for the people there, you know what I mean? There's always some good people, but there's, and always some bad people. But this really speaks to the point where, Even Moiraine doesn't trust her own sisters, and that's really bad when that happens. You know what I mean? Like when you can't even trust the people you were supposed to be, in order with or living with. It makes for really, really great drama, but really bad, situations can happen. And we do see that later on when Moraine's talking to one of the other sisters that she needs to really be careful of what's of the politics, because she's really going to have to either step up or she's going to, you know, uh, get swallowed up, by everybody, because Lilandra's influence is growing in the tower, and they don't really, her and Moiraine don't really get along. But going back to her and Nye, we get some really good dialogue between them as Moiraine talks about their place in the world or lack thereof, So I thought that was really kind of cool. Like we do get a lot of good dialogue in this. Like Perrin, Egwene, and Aram, they all kind of talk about the way of the Seeker and the way of the Leaf, and how like it's embracing different things. And then they run into Velda and the Children of the Light, and Velda goes after Perrin and Egwene. And Velda is very cruel, and he doesn't care who he hurts as long as he gets his way, basically. And as he's talking to Egwene, because he believes that she is a channeler, he's torturing Perrin, and he's really like, I'm on a divine mission to wipe out your kind one by one. And I was just like, wow, this guy is a zealot. He's a very, very bad guy. I was disappointed with what happened with him when Perrin and them do escape, because we do see that Perrin, there is something up with him. And plus, he didn't lose his leg or his life. So that's a whole mute point that I'm not even going to mention after this, because that was just, I don't get it. But, so we get some really good dialogue between Steppen, Lan, and the other two wards as well. So as they're going through that, as they're preparing for a ritual to bring Steppen's his charge, the Aes Sedai, he was supposed to be protecting her ring, back to a special place. So we do actually get to see two really good rituals in this, and this really leaves off at the end with a decent cliffhanger. I don't want to say it's really good, because it's just preluding to the fact that we're going to get more drama from here on out. I believe this is only, I'd have to relook it up, but I think it's only 10 episodes. Let me go real quick, see if I can see it. Oh no, this is only 8 episodes. So we've got 3 episodes left for this season. I kind of wish every single episode was a little slower. Like, instead of having the first 2 episodes kind of more fast-paced than the rest, they should have started out slow so we could have gotten to know everybody, especially being only 8 episodes, and then speed it up. But still, it's getting kind of, it's still not bad. Like, the sets in this were fantastic. There's really no effects in this that much, so it's more or less of the practical effects for this. Like, I did like the fact that of what Egwene tried to do with Velda, but it wasn't really like, a huge amount of like special effects. We get 2 really good rituals performed. One especially at the end was a funeral ritual, and then the acting in this, I had no issues with the acting again. Because the pace is a little slower, and they've been putting more emphasis on each of the characters. We haven't really had any standout moments again. Not so much that you would be like, wow, this character was absolutely amazing in this. Matt, again, I think was good. He's playing the part of being kind of sickly really well, but everybody's gotten their secrets. They're trying to go through and navigate. We see Rand and Nye actually talking about it at one point as well, about who they can really trust and what they're going to do going forward. But it's like, you're going to have to make that decision, you know? So I really had no issues with this, except for that it just kind of feels like we're playing catch up a little bit and trying to get to know the characters again. We should have had that all taken care of by this point, especially with this little of episodes, you know? If this was like 10 episodes, I could be like, you know, a little more lenient, but we should have already known more about their motivations by now and what's going on. Even though this is honestly doing less and less character building, we're still getting to know the characters a little bit that we should have already had done by now. That's my opinion. Let me know down below what you guys think, too, about all of this. So this episode, again, slows down and does more world building, relationship building, and getting to, and a little bit of getting to know the characters better. We get to see there's actually a power struggle in the world itself that's starting to appear more. And then we also get to see that there's a power struggle within the White Tower. And Rand, Nye, Matt, and the rest of them, Perrin and Egwene, are all going to have to make a decision at some point. That's going to affect the rest of their lives and the way they go. So it's really down to who they trust, who they don't trust, and what they're going to do afterwards. I'm definitely looking forward to the next episode, but I would still only give this a 7.5 out of 10 because of the fact that we're still a little slower and we're still doing that character building as well as world building, which I'm not worried about the world building because from like the articles and other stuff I've kind of read, these books are massive. And apparently they have changed quite a bit from even the first book, The Eye of the World. So, you know, we're getting to see like all these different changes. I've never read the books personally. I believe I tried to listen to the audiobook once, but I never got back around to like finishing like the whole thing. And I would kind of like to, but at the same time, I'm kind of liking the fact that I haven't read it so that I don't really know what's coming. But if you guys like what I do, please hit the like button and also subscribe, as I'll be doing more content. And leave a comment down below. Let me know what you thought about this. Take care for now, everyone.